people are driven by many forces in their lives. Some, like our very own Dick Vitale, are driven to make the world a better place. Dick has his own way of doing that through the V Foundation, and many other famous figures have their own same drive, but they express it in different ways. Elsie Souza from Bookstore One joins us with a look at the biographies of some of these very famous figures who have led very noteworthy lives and also are great humanitarians, and tell us about it in these books. And I guess we're seeing a side of these people we never saw before.
No, we didn't, and we might know in some respects. So the first one we have to talk about is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the title of the book is Notorious RBG, which is a great play on words.
Absolutely.
Here this woman goes from being one of the first, graduates from Harvard Law School, is turned down by most of the agencies
Law
in the
firms in New York.
Oh,
yeah.
exactly. No one wanted this woman to be at the table, and now she's probably the most famous.
Supreme Court Justice.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
which
Yeah.
is a great story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So the next one is Faith by Jimmy Carter. Here's this president. No one loved this man. He went away, very quietly into the sunset. And meanwhile, he's become probably one of the greatest humanitarians that we know.
Absolutely. A moral icon.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
exactly.
So here's young Malala, who, goes on to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, come on, and now she's at Oxford University and is a major star in the world.
And is this a children's book?
This is a children's book.
Because I know she has written the adult
Exactly.
version of her story.
Exactly. So
That's
this
a
is
great
Oh, but that's a
idea.
great thing to give a child.
exactly.
Maybe even for graduation.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
How about Shadow of Death? That
So
sounds
Shadow
good.
of Death, Patricia Gusson is a local resident on Longboat Key.
Really?
She and her husband were major dog physicians in this country, and then she started to write mystery books, and then they opened Ocean View Press, and now they have a stable of like 100 different authors all over the world, and they're major philanthropists, particularly to the library foundations.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I
Nice
thought
local connection.
There you
Yes,
go.
I love that.
Marchello Hasan, who was a local resident too of Longboat, she was trained as a scientist, and she's the woman who introduced us to Italian cooking. Americans just knew something out of a can. She taught us the great joys of Italian cooking.
Wow.
So the next book, this gentleman, David Margolick, the author, he's actually going to be in our studio, in our bookstore on Friday morning at 11 a.m. This is called The Promise and the Dream. He's a writer for Vanity Fair in Manhattan, but it's the story of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy.
Okay.
Both.
Very interesting.
So here are these two different men who went on to change the world. Okay, from very different backgrounds. The next one is It's Up to the Women, Eleanor Roosevelt, another champion.
Oh,
Here's
yes.
this shy, reserved woman who goes on to radically change the world and is seen as an icon by women.
Yes, you say shy. I think of her as being very powerful.
Right, exactly. But she was reserved in her life, did not have the kindest of lives.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Well, we want to read that and find out what her secret was. What's next now?
Next is Eunice. And Eunice Kennedy Shriver was a remarkable woman, obviously born to wealth, but also had a sister who had challenges. So Eunice was the one, the oldest daughter. She goes on to form what we know as, it's escaping me, the famous
Special Olympics.
Special Olympics.
Yes, she was here several times. What an amazing woman she was.
So look what she did based on her sister's plight.
Yes.
The Marshall Plan is the next one. So General Marshall was indeed, he was a hero during World War II, but what he did as Secretary of State, he went on to save Europe through the Marshall
Rebuilt
Plan.
Europe. This is America as a giant philanthropist.
Wow.
The entire
Exactly.
American state became the philanthropist that rebuilt the world after World War II and said, we're not going to punish the losers.
Right.
We are, like we did after World War I, which led directly to the rise of Hitler, we're going to help rebuild these countries and make them peaceful and democratic. The most brilliant act of foreign policy by America ever.
Thank you for those words.
Yes,
I love you.
Michael wrote the foreword.
Oh, well,
Quite a historian down there.
And the last
Right,
one
and tell
is
us about Oprah.
So Oprah What can you say about Oprah?
gosh.
She has become this philanthropist of the world. She has a school in South Africa. There's so many things that she does in the world.
Yes.
You know, sponsoring exhibits everywhere. So Oprah has put her money where her mouth is, so to
love
speak.
She has
That's
indeed,
so
hasn't
good
she?
The
to know.
wisdom of Sundays, I'm going to have to
Right.
grab that one.
Exactly.
Well, as we mentioned, we have our own philanthropist right here in Sarasota, Dick Vitale, we all know him as, and he has his work with the V Foundation. And they do cancer research, of course. And Dick Vitale is having his annual gala this week. At this one gala, he's expecting to raise $3.5 million in one night for cancer research. And Elsie, one of the honorees of this year's gala is an author, and he's going to be at Bookstore One. Wow! Tell us about sportscaster Mike Greenberg.
Mike Greenberg in the world of sports is like the cat's meow, so to speak. He's the top enchilada. He was on a show called Mike and Mike on ESPN, and now he's doing his own show.
And this book, tell us about this great, is this a children's book?
It's
MVP?
a children's book.
Oh.
He and his wife, Stacy, they will be at Bookstore One Saturday morning at 11 to sign the book. All the proceeds go to the V Foundation.
Oh, good.
So it's a great story.
Perfect timing with
Yes.
Gala weekend.
Yeah,
we love
exactly.
Bookstore
thank
One.
you.
Thank
You
you.
guys are so important to Sarasota's identity.
You sure are.
Thank you for doing
And
it.
for more information about those book signings and much more, go to Bookstore One website, sarasotabooks.com. Next, some kids from Oslo, Italy are coming to the Oslo. We'll explain.